know the bar was so low, lakini umenivumilia. Mahaba na yasikia mama, nakupa mia kwa mia. Baby you don't know, vile umenishikilia. Kanikinga wa dunia mama, sijui nikupe nini dia. Nafufua wahenga, matunge nyimbo tamu na mashahidi, mtu asijetenga. Shaandikwa duniani na mbinguni, choose when your flavor. Imebidi nitemundi aje tujadili, nikatuma mshenga hadi kwenye East Africa mashariki. Anyuma ni Muganda, shepu ni ya Tanga, ngozi ya Kirundi, sura ya Kigali, anywele Kisomali, na macho ya Besha, forward ni ya Kenya, tabasamu la Juba, yule anayepinga asimame, anayepinga asimame, sema ukweli wako.
Katamka baby kangu chama, kashuka shunu bwana, mzuri wewe, umeumbika mwaya, ayoyoyo, kisura chake, ona umbo, saka popo, abigi bigi, asuke rasta, maavai wiki, jamani popo, abigi bigi, utaitaka tukijigi jigi, jamani popo.
Let's make a toast to my baby, East African lady. Let's make a toast to my baby, my African lady.
Let's make a toast to my baby, oh, my Asian baby. Let's make a toast to my baby, oh, my European baby.
You're tuned in to Icon Radio, your #1 entertainment plug.
Ladies and gentlemen all over the world, welcome to Icon Radio. I'm your lovely, dependable host for the next 2 hours. I go by the name CAMPEZ Nawiri, and that was our music intro. We just had Katam by Diamond Platnumz featuring Bien, and right before that we had 95 South by J. Cole. If you don't know me, which you do, but we will get to know me. That is my go-to energy song, 95 South. He ends by saying, represent your hood, and I am representing Icon Radio. You are listening to Certified Cinema. This is your go-to radio show for all things movies. I am a movie nerd, for those who don't know me, but it's our first time meeting, so you'll get to know me over the next 2 hours. I am your resident movie nerd, movie lover, anime geek, TV show nerd, and I will be taking you through Certified Cinema, ladies and gentlemen. So today, we will be talking about a few interesting things about what's going on in the landscape of Hollywood movies, anime, and TV. And this is the show where we do all that, give you movie reviews, movie recommendations, TV show recommendations, thematic breakdowns. And when I say thematic breakdowns, we're talking about what do these things actually mean? Let me explain to you what the creator was thinking about, what the artist was trying to, the actors and the actresses were trying to portray when we were talking about these things, and so that they could make more sense to you and you could see why we love movies, why we love TV so much, ladies and gentlemen. So yes, you are in the right hands. Welcome once again to Certified Cinema. So how does our show look like today? Today we have a lot of interesting topics for you. Today we're going to be doing a review of the fantastic summer that we've just had. June has ended, we're into July now, and we have just had a hell of a cinematic run. We've had bangers after bangers after bangers, and so we're going to be talking about that. Today we had F1 concluded just last week, but we had Jurassic World Rebirth came out last week. And we also had MTV Shuga Mashariki, still fresh in everyone's minds and has everyone talking. And so we're going to be letting you know why these were so much of hot topics, why everyone was talking about them, why everyone was rushing to spend their money on F1, rushing to spend their money at the cinemas on Jurassic World Rebirth, and why everyone is happy. And most of the people around Kenya are not so happy about MTV Sugar Mashariki despite having a strong debut. We'll be getting into that. We will also be sharing our playlist that features all the cultural songs within TV shows and movies. Like, we'll be playing some few hits from the F1 album. We'll be playing you some few hits from anime openings and from TV show openings, ladies and gentlemen. We'll also be recommending to you what's coming up. Today, we'll be talking about Squid Games as well. Squid Game Season 3 just concluded. But there's an interesting thing happening, what we call the death games genre. Have you ever wondered why someone would come up with a show as sadistic and as bizarre as Squid Games? Like, you're there sitting, this person looks like the friendliest person you know, but in their mind they're coming up with this very conniving and very sadist-like story. Who does that? Why do they do that? What's the point? And so that is our main topic of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Squid Game Season 3 and the death game genre. And feel free to send in your feedback, ladies and gentlemen. Tell us what you think about Squid Games. Tell us what you think about all the movies that we'll be talking about. Tell us what you think about the death games genre and everything that we will be talking about, ladies and gentlemen. So for now, I am your lovely, dependable host, CAMPEZ Nawiri. We're going on a music break. We're going to listen to Laho by Shali Poppy. And when we come back, we're going to get right into our movie reviews of the day. See you in a few, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.
This is Icon Radio.
Burudika, 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 burudika. Burundani kuna burudani. Life ni mkazi. Burundani kuna burudani. Life Abu Dhabi ndani ya club peleka bangu chochangu muna mamnangu na mamdabu tunaikata na adabu. Burudika, burudika. Abu Dhabi ndani ya club peleka bangu chochangu muna mamnangu
maombido. Utadhani ni chimney kumbe moshi ni mavela. Dijana play songs zote zina sound a cappella. Na pull up to her bumper kadere wa trailer. Akona hagabiki na ina clap ndani ya dera. Wanataka kunimaliza baba, wanataka kunimaliza. Tunazitupa ki Michael Jackson, naleta action. Na mwaga jasho. Sikia ma gunshot, usiende junction. Uoga, sinaga mikama Tyson. Walai bilahi club iko na mabilionea. Vitu zinafanyika ndani hata vipofu wanajionea.
Zilimshika tukiban, aka drop it like it's hot. Anadina kuwaka fan, kono kiwa kwenye throat. Nani ndo boss, hapa na mdishi kama last sapa. Saba position, kanja ni 6 figure. Mnangu ni 8 na hapa 9 inch. Maniga yangu ni bait. Tunafanya dhambi Abu Dhabi na hama body. Wanadai wapela vidavi, kitu sfanyagi. Singoni mobe, left, right na katikati. Legeza waist to bed, knees, na utoe shati. Staki kuna one leg na party. DJ chezeo skinny bitch me is fatty. Niko na jaber, akona kuber. Kuja na gang, nina mjulu bang. Kuja na mapeng, naslete matahen. Unlimited vision na tuzishi wana maweng. Ayaya mpaka Abu Dhabi. Ayaya na maordinary.
Burudika burundani kuna burudan. Life ni mkazi, burundani kuna burudan. Life Abu Dhabi ndani ya club peleka bangu chocha ngumu na mamnangu na mamdabu tunaikata na adabu. Burudika Abu Dhabi ndani ya club peleka bangu chocha ngumu na mamnangu na mamdabu tunaikata na adabu. Abu Dhabi ndani ya club peleka bangu chocha ngumu na mamnangu na mamdabu tunaikata na adabu. Burudika burundani kuna burudan. Life ni mkazi, burundani kuna burudan. Life ni mkazi.
Hakuna area tuja terrorize. Wasupa wenyu tukifika wana tu recognize. Kitu kilan niko malo ni kufinalize. Basa ni deadly sherehe ya leo ni polite. Tingiza kichwa tena anguka nayo. Wakisha kitu kisha pitisha round. Peleka chini hadi ifike kwa ground. Squeezy venyeji ndo nachachisha town. Selector, sauti ya doba iko chini ongeza. Hadi nimesare tools ya meza. Juzi imeshika pia mix inaweza. Cheki madenge vile leo wanatesa. One leg tunazuza kwa baesa.
Hush, no kibanja bruv, talk to me dive. Kanapenda hair block me, I don't mind it. Playing with extension, please don't bleach. Melanin so expensive, puzzle in the science. See on me, on my guns, it is Allah. Skip lunch, no need join last supper. They know we don't play, don't have to go handers. Na my bodies, picky. Ban cannabis na handler. Kanim super na handler. Kani chupa na madala. Kani fast me madara. Assalamu alaikum. Huku Abu Dhabi tumechill na mataikun. Assalamu alaikum. Huku Abu Dhabi tumechill na mataikun.
Burudika burundani kuna burudan. Life ni mkazi, burundani kuna burudan. Life Abu Dhabi ndani ya club peleka bangu chocha ngumu na mamnangu na mamdabu tunaikata na adabu. Burudika Abu Dhabi ndani ya club peleka bangu chocha ngumu na mamnangu na mamdabu tunaikata na adabu. Abu Dhabi ndani ya club peleka bangu chocha ngumu na mamnangu na mamdabu tunaikata na adabu. Burudika burundani kuna burudan. Life ni mkazi, burundani kuna burudan. Life ni mkazu.
Classic music.
Nobody loves you the way that I do. Nobody can love you the way that I do, yeah. Maybe nobody loves me the way that you do. Nobody can love you the way that I do.
Ukisikia nafunga ndoa, marry you. Menisafisha madoa, niko wingu la blue. I'm gonna stick with you for wherever I'm coming through. Mambo yakienda mbaya, I'm gonna keep you cool. Kama ulisafa sahau, karibu sapa. Kwa bahati nzuri mapenzi yanaishi hapa. Sikio umenipata, sina matata. Jisifie wakapendeza, takwa kashi mkononi kwenye mahitaji. Takupenda moyoni nikupe nafasi. Takwa rambo rindoni vita maji. Sitokutenda kutenga, sitokujaji.
Naomba sana, naomba dua, nisije zingua. Nobody watasema sana, wataongea, wazidi umbea. Nobody oh, and I know you're the one for my heart and soul. Nobody can love me the way that you do. Nobody
that you do. Nobody can love you better than I do. Nobody shows me the way that you do. Nobody do me the thing that you do. Maujanja, nampa, mauninja kumfu. Anaruka, nainuka, nanguka pu. Nanepa, winja, waren tu. Honey, sugar, ginger, my boo. Sauti akiongea tu mashallah, mguu akitembea mwendo wa billions. Dala kama kajiongezea shape, bala kajipendelea mpaka kara. Sauti akiongea tu mashallah, mguu akitembea mwendo wa billions. Dala akikusogelea sasa akikuchekea du.
Naomba sana, naomba dua, nisije zingua. Nobody watasema sana, wataongea, wazidi umbea. Nobody. Oh, and I know you're the one for my heart and soul. Nobody can love me the way that you do. Nobody can love me the way that you do. Nobody love me the way that you do. Nobody can love you better than I do.
Nobody love me the way that you do. Nobody can love you better than I do.
Nobody loves you the way that I do. Nobody can love you the way that I do.
$16,000 square, 8 million up there, 2 million down here. When I was born, grandmama could see it. I be Bentley driven and very strategic. RM sleeve, no diamonds are needed. Floors are heated, so be it. Fucking with P, get something to meet you. Your soul don't like your body, we help you free it. Then we wait for TMZ to leak it. It ain't no secret, so be it. Smoke. So be it. Smoke. So be it. CLIP, SCFB, A-Ball LV. I can show you how to bust a brick if you let me. I monogram like confetti. Switch is ready. She leaning on Celine cause she ain't stepping in Giuseppe. Catch up, $150 like each Pirelli. I got 8 of them, call me Andretti. If I'm not in the telly, selling the Yeti, then I'm twirling your bitch like she in spaghetti. Heavy, circle back and come and get this Kelly. And your ears too if you want a blue like belly. Lot of jetting, Prada bedding, 911s. I'm the who's who with what's what. Papa heaven. Fuck around and get your body traced trying to test me. Cause niggas that I'm with like to draw when it's sketchy. If they catch me, don't forget me. Resurrect me. Buy a dog tag the same place that they would get me. Ski.
Religious culture inappropriate.
Smoke. So be it. Smoke. So be it.
You ain't solid, ain't valid, you ain't malice. Been quiet, ain't riot, you ain't Paris. Blow money, you owe money, we ain't balanced. You ain't believe, God did, you ain't Khaled. All black, back to back, this ain't traffic. Can't wrap your head round that, you ain't Arab. Y'all tweet, bird talk, we all parrots. Lone Star, cross the border, we like Dallas. 21, guns salute, we been savage. Tag 'em up, add 'em up, them niggas average. Fly 'em in, fly 'em out, only the baddest. If I had her, then you had her, she never mattered. Wish upon the stars on my roof, they all scattered. Ain't no more Neptune, so peace Saturn. Off the first ski up, they re-up. It's a pattern, like middlemen, they killing them. You know what happened.
Religious culture inappropriate.
So be it. Smoke. So be it. You cried in front of me, you died in front of me. Calabasas took your bitch and your pride in front of me. Her utopia had moved right up the street, and her lip gloss was popping, she ain't need you to eat. The net gon' call it the way that they see it, but I got the video, I can share and AE it. They wouldn't believe it, but I can't unsee it. Lucky I ain't TMZ it. So be it.
This is culturally inappropriate.
Smoke. So be it, so be it. Smoke. So be it, so be it.
This is Icon Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back from that fantastic music break. And pulling us back in was So Be It by Clips. Clips is the American hip-hop duo by rappers Pusha T and his brother Malice. And this is straight off their album Rollout, which has been fantastic so far, giving us hits like Ace Trumpets and the one we've just had, So Be It, coming from their upcoming album called Let God Sort Them Out, coming out July 11th, which is tomorrow. So for all my hip-hop fans, and if you just like good music, shout out to all the good music listeners there. Shout out to all the hip-hop fans. Tomorrow we will be eating good because Pusha T and his brother Malice are dropping Let God Sort Them Out tomorrow. So stay tuned on your devices to hear this masterpiece of an album. I know it's going to be a masterpiece. Have you seen the track list? Make sure you see the track list. Yeah. And so, talking about eating good, ladies and gentlemen, for the last month, we have been eating properly when it comes to movies. Oh my God. Like, look at the run we just got in June. We got Elio. We got 28 years later. And we got F1. And now we are coming into what has been termed, which is 2025's Barbenheimer, by the way, Super Fantastic Summer. We're calling it Super Fantastic Summer because you have Superman coming up and Fantastic Four coming up. So we've had a hell of a run. 2025 is doing perfectly. I don't think there is a time to have this much fun in cinemas unlike right now. If you want to have a lot of fun at the cinemas, this is the time. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen. And this is coming off of last year. Most people complained we are not watching movies because there are not so many good movies in cinemas right now. And the reason why I'm saying cinema and not just watching movies is because the best way to enjoy a movie is at the cinema. The cinema theater gives you the best experience. So immersive. You won't get this at home. So if you're looking for fun at the cinema, this is the time. We just had 28 years later. We had F1. We had Jurassic World that came out last week. And now we're going into the Super Fantastic Summer. So let's talk about what's been going on, right? We just had F1 dropping 2 weeks ago. And reviewers are raving because, trust me, guys, this was an absolute cinematic masterpiece, right? Well, I'm not going to put it up there with the likes of Parasite or Pulp Fiction. Shout out to Quentin Tarantino for coming up with a banger of a movie that is the world's best movie. I don't care if I have a bias towards it. You know, go argue with your mama. But yes, Pulp Fiction is the best movie ever made. But yeah, I'm not going to put F1 up there. But Lord, was it fantastic. Oh my God. So for those who don't know about F1, F1 is a movie. It's Formula One, the movie. It's basically set in the world of Formula One, for my Formula One fans. And this is actually in partnership with Formula One themselves. It's not just a creator's creation where they thought, oh yeah, let's make a racing movie and let's make it Formula One. It's actually in partnership with Formula One. And when you see the trailer, it really, really sells you Formula One. Like, at some point you have to stop and ask yourself, is this a movie or is it a Formula One advertisement? And the truth is, it's both. It meets the line of being the perfect product placement while being entertainment. And they nail it. I mean, who does that? But if you're having the director of Top Gun Maverick and you're having Brad Pitt and it's being shot in IMAX, then you do expect people to have fun at the cinemas. So, and I even placed this on my list of movies that you're likely to ignore, but you really should not. It is a sin to ignore this movie, right? Because when you see the trailer, like I said, it really comes off very Formula One heavy. It comes off like it's one for the fans, but it's an everyone movie, right? if you are into movies, you just want to have fun at the cinema, you have some extra cash to spend, or you just want to be wowed, this is one for you, right? So, you look at the trailer and it just had something to it. It was like, this seems interesting, not just interesting, but it has something to it, right? And what they do so well is in the cinema experience. When you see the trailer, they really make you feel like you're about to get into the cockpit, like you're the F1 driver. And when you see it in IMAX, ladies and gentlemen, this is fantastic. There's the way, this is coming from the director of Top Gun Maverick. If you've seen Top Gun Maverick, there's some POV shots that, Top Gun Maverick is by stars Tom Cruise. There's the way he places his cameras that make you feel like you're actually in the cockpit. And that's the same thing he brings onto Formula One. And he has these camera movements that actually make you feel like, yo, when the opponents are closing in and zooming past you, you feel, this camera movement makes you feel like, oh yeah, I've just seen this guy pass me. I've just seen this guy closing into me and he's about to slam me from behind. It puts you in the seat. And it was so fantastic seeing it in IMAX because, IMAX has that huge screen, from floor to ceiling. It really covers everywhere. Have you ever been to a cinema and you're watching it and you can't help but feel like you're seeing the walls, and so you're not really in the movie, and you just know, man, I'm watching a movie. But when you see it in IMAX, none of that happens. So the good thing about Formula One is they kept the story pretty simple, and that's why you are likely to ignore it because it's a story that you've seen time and time again. So first of all, F1 is very aware. It knows it's a formula. It knows it's a racing movie. It's a sports movie. They have no need to give you the most dramatic story you've ever seen. They want to go straight into the action. And that's why you can't really put it up there with like the greatest ever made. Because it's a simple story. Because how many times have you had this? Retired veteran who left the sport because of an injury or bad trauma. He leaves the sport, he's broke, he's wandering the earth, but then comes along his savior, a friend who comes and says, you know what, we need you because our team is dying and you have the skills, but you don't have the money. We could fix that and you can fix this for us. And then he comes in and he meets this young blood and then they start butting heads because this young blood has the way he does things and he has the way he does things. And since he's been wandering the earth, he's a lone wolf, so he doesn't know how to work with a team. And so they clash heads and eventually they work together to save the team, and the team that was an underdog are now champions. Cue the credits. How many times have you heard that story? I mean, remember the Titans? What else can I mention? Every sports movie made follows that template. They always have to win. Shout out to Ryan Coogler, because when you think sports movies, he tries to deviate from that, trying to tell a personal story. They never won. He lost, but they still make it seem like he won in exposure and experience. But yeah, Formula One follows that classic story, right? And so Brad Pitt plays this racer called Sonny Hayes, who gave up his Formula One career because of a bad crash. And now he has to work with this young, hot-headed rookie called Joshua Pierce, played by Damson Idris. And all the girlies are drooling over Damson Idris. The least, if you were drooling over his Met Gala red carpet outfit reveal, please can you just buy tickets for this and drool over him on the big screen? Yeah, because it's worth it, right? So the story is very basic, but now the beauty is in how it was executed. Like I said, they really want to make you feel like you are in the cockpit, right? And so the fun about F1 is in the cinema experience, right? It makes you feel like you are the driver, the POV shots, the way the camera pans fast, the shots on the tires, screeching. And another thing they do so well is they have an awareness of the sport. Now, and this is something that I'm fuming at when I think about what MTV Sugar Mashariki could have done better with the rugby scenes. is an awareness of the sport and an awareness of the culture, right? It's one thing to just do what it's obvious. You see F1, you see cars, and that's it. It's you see cars, Lewis Hamilton, Leclerc, Verstappen, and everyone. But there's a culture behind it. What are those things that people don't see? What are those things, the stories that people would like to know about? Tell us that, and if it's coming in as sort of an advertisement for Formula One, then it has to sell us on the specifics of that world, and it does that so well because we get to know about the pit stop crew, the engineers. Everyone in this movie has a role to play. No one feels insignificant because there's something the character Sonny Hayes says in the movies. If everyone can save a tenth of a second, then we can win this race, right? And so it really shows you how crucial everyone is, and that's what they also do so well because everyone works so well together. You can feel everyone on the set was just having fun because no one was relegated to the backdrop, like how band players make a joke. Everyone has an instrument and you're the guy playing the triangle. No hate to triangle players, y'all are important. But yeah, F1 does that so well, right? Everyone feels so important, and everyone was having fun on set, and it really shows you how everyone plays a crucial part. If the pit stop crew is slow, we are losing this race. If the engineers don't work to make sure that this car is fast on the track in a corner and it can be well maintained, then everyone loses. Like, so they have so many little stories and little roles, and there's a way they make you feel like they're also so crucial to the big players, Brad Pitt and Damson Idris characters. And you just feel like everyone is working and you just love everyone. You love everyone. You love all the races. It was such a fun ride at the cinema, guys. So please do not sleep on this. It's still showing in cinemas right before Super Fantastic Summer comes out. So I bid you guys, please go into cinemas and watch F1. Now, if you're talking about good movies that delivered, there's the flip side of good movies that seem that they would be good but disappointed. So I started by saying there are movies that you're likely to ignore but really shouldn't. But then on the flip side, there are movies that people are likely to watch but are now realizing we should have ignored. And sad to say, Jurassic World Rebirth falls into that category. Most of us, shout out to all the Gen Zs and all the millennials who grew up watching Jurassic Park, right? And so Jurassic World is the fourth in the Jurassic World Rebirth, is the fourth in the Jurassic World franchise and the seventh overall in the Jurassic Park franchise. So there's a difference. So Jurassic Park is what started in the 90s. They had a couple of movies, had a break, and then decided to revitalize the franchise with a new movie in 2015 called Jurassic World. And so all the movies coming out since 2015 in the Jurassic franchise are called Jurassic World. So we had Jurassic Park 1, Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World, Jurassic Park 3, and then now we moved over into Jurassic World. Yeah, that's 2015, starring Chris Pratt. Then Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. We had Jurassic World Dominion, and now Jurassic World Rebirth. So fourth in Jurassic World, seventh overall. But the question I ask is this: is it a 4? Is it a 7? Is it a 10? Most people say it's a 4. For me, I would put it at somewhere at I would give it a 6.9. So close to leaning towards, I would give it like a 6 point something, because again, cinema experience every time you watch something in the cinema, it gives you an upper hand. So everyone who's out there putting their movies in the cinemas have an upper hand, because you are able to sell an experience, give people an experience, right? And the beauty with Jurassic World is it's an out of this world um, movie. And so when you watch it in the cinema, and it's in 3D, by the way, so all the people out there who don't go to cinemas because they're 2D movies and you like to watch 3D, this is the one for you. It really pulls you into the world, and it's so beautifully made. The CGI is wonderful, or at the very least decent, and it's directed by this guy called Gareth Edwards. He's one of the best directors in the space right now when it comes to scale. When you're talking about scale, this means to make something feel huge. He did Godzilla, he did The Creator, he did Star Wars Rogue One. So he knows how to make things feel big. And there's this one scene where that calls back to the original, where we see the whole landscape and all the beautiful dinosaurs, those big dinosaurs, and it's really fantastic. So in terms of cinema experience, that is what raises the bar for me. The other bit, though, is where I'm going to butt heads with a lot of people. It's because of the plot line in the story. Now, most people are saying we want new stories. We've been seeing the same things. All the movies in Hollywood right now are prequels and sequels, and this kind of exemplifies that point. Jurassic World is a decent movie in terms of cinema experience, and it really calls back to the original Jurassic Park franchise, the ones that were shot in the 90s and the early 2000s. And I really believe it's a step up from the later Jurassic World movies we've been getting. Remember, I explained there's a difference between Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. It steps up from the last 3 movies that we've seen, or at least the last 2, and calls back to, those first 2 fantastic Jurassic Park movies. It's all about the dinosaurs and surviving the night. That's what Jurassic Park was about. When humans decide to play God, because dinosaurs went extinct, and humans decide to play God and bring them back for the sake of their own entertainment, where we put dinosaurs in parks and we charge people to come and feel nostalgia and feel like they're in a world of the past. But in Jurassic World Rebirth, we come from a time when mayhem happened again, right? Humans played God, dinosaurs escaped, T-Rexes ate people, destroyed cities, destroyed parks, and that's what we're back to. And they tried to convolute all this with the human side of things. It became less about the dinosaurs, and that's what people complained, and that's why no one showed up for Jurassic World Dominion. But Jurassic World Rebirth takes us back to that formula where it's all about the dinosaurs, right? They are beautiful, and we want to make sure that people are feeling things will go wrong, of course, and we have to survive the night. But this time we follow this lady called Zora Bennett, played by Scarlett Johansson, alongside a team also led by Mahershala Ali. For those who have watched Moonlight and those Marvel fans who are looking forward to Blade, Mahershala Ali. He's been in the game. Put some respect on his name. Come on, please. Yeah. So they set off to this island where they've been contracted by a pharmaceutical company to gather samples from 3 species of dinosaurs, and this is what will come up to building a new drug that could treat heart disease. So you see, we're going back to that theme of greed, where humans played God and they're still greedy, right? But as expected, it's a Jurassic World movie, it's a Jurassic Park movie, yeah? It's a Jurassic franchise movie. Things go wrong, and they have to survive the island because they're shipwrecked, and they have to survive this island full of genetically mutated experiments. This island was a former experimental place. They were trying to come up with new species of dinosaurs to make sure that they're bringing in new species for people to come and pay more, right? So again, humans playing God because of greed, right? They get stuck and they have to survive the night as they collect the samples and they go back home, right? So it's very run-of-the-mill, regular Jurassic stuff, right? So it really feels like you've been watching these movies again and again and again. And so it's nothing new, right? At least they call back to what it used to do before, and that's what makes it better. But there's a lack of a real sense of danger that was with the movies before, right? Where you feel they're actually in danger, right? Because you see, it was new. This is a new movie we've never seen before. Dinosaurs, they're gonna survive dinosaurs? Oh my god! But we've seen that through 6 movies, so still the same old, but I give it an upper hand because of how it tried to give us a good cinema experience. There's one scene where they're chased around by a dinosaur and they have to survive that through this river chase scene. You know, it's in the trailers. I truly believe that was one of the best parts of the movies because you really feel the tension. You know, it brought us back to Jurassic Park. But the rest of it was, survive the night, and none of the characters really felt like they were in danger. They were, they get chased, but they get really close to dying, but you just know they're gonna survive because they're the main character. And I think that's what it does so poorly. And yeah, maybe they do better on the next one. So not so many people are pleased with this one, but again, if you're looking for a good cinema 3D experience, feel free to be my guest. Hop into the nearest cinema closest to you, grab a ticket, watch Jurassic World Rebirth, right? And now, let's get to something more relatable, something that hits closer to home. That is MTV Sugar Mashariki. So those who are not familiar with MTV Sugar, this was cinematic or a film campaign put together by MTV Staying Alive Foundation that is meant to sensitize people on HIV and AIDS and sex education. And MTV Sugar started in Kenya. The first production was in Kenya, starring our very own Lupita Nyong'o, and that's where she got her big break, and she is where she is now. So you can see how much of a big deal it is in the Kenyan landscape. And so when MTV Sugar Mashariki came out, we all lost our minds, because yes, this is what we've been waiting for. Let's see what this new generation has to offer. And I like that MTV Sugar has seasons for each generation. So let's see what this MTV Sugar Mashariki has to offer, coming at a time where the Gen Z are so popular, especially in Kenya. Tunapigania inchi, man. Shout out to all the Gen Zs out there. Shout out for starting a revolution and getting conversations started about the youth's involvement. So it's coming of a time where the Gen Zs are riding so high. Our flags are up, and MTV Sugar Mashariki encapsulates that Gen Z culture. So what does sex life? What does HIV AIDS sensitization? What is this gonna look like in the Gen Z generation? And that's what MTV Sugar stood for, right? Well, that's what it stands for. That's what it's representing. Were we representing? For sure, Gen Z was represented in terms of the culture. But now, the audience is split, right? And it seems most are leaning towards disappointment. Why? So, a rundown of the story is, we start with the unfortunate sexual assault of one of the characters called Zena. And so that's the inciting incident. That's what we call an inciting incident in movies. That thing that happens that starts off the conflict. So the assault of this young lady is the inciting incident. And now we follow her friends and their friends' relationships. And this is all tied in as they're coming into Nkare University. It's like a coming of age story. And I feel like that was a smart move. starting the story and letting us know about uh, having characters that we can use to learn about, HIV, AIDS sensitization, and sex education. Having freshers as the harbingers of that message, as the blank slate that we can use, was a very, very smart move, man. Shout out to the producers, shout out to the writers for coming up with that idea. Because you see, and it's so relatable, and this is something that cuts across all generations. You come into university and you've been fed all these stories, I was in high school. Okay, actually in school generally, both primary school and high school. And we probably had these teachers who told you, for guys, shorties, feel free to chat us up on WhatsApp, YouTube, Instagram, and tell us if you had the same experience. But for guys, this was the advice we always get. Soma, wanawake wako huko mbele. Don't worry about shorties right now. Wanawake wako huko mbele. Shori wako sahi ako nursery. We utaenda kupata shorties university. Don't worry about mapenzi right now. You'll work hard, utakuwa boss. We had one deputy headmaster who told us, utakuwa unafanya tu hivi, shorties wanakuja watatu. Oh my god. And university just looked so wow. Yeah, and then you watch all these shows. There's like Blue Mountain State and Stomp the Yard, and it's like, wow, university is so free. And then people tell you how they go to campus and they get help, and happy. And it's like, wow, you're fed a lot of misinformation. You're fed a lot of stories, and you just have to you can't wait to just start your journey at NASA. You want to become the person they were writing in insha's. Alibobea kwa masomo ya msingi na sekondari. Sasa umekuja kufanya NASA. So having freshers carry that story was the most relatable thing they could ever do. Because think about it, everyone there was, coming into university for the first time, and they're so blank, we had the anime nerd who plays into the trope, he's not getting any, so he's really looking forward to getting it, so that's the person who can actually, carry this story because he's so naive. And we also have this lady, I forget their names, who sister ya Kabugi, Pia, she's also coming in, she's also fed these stories. And then now we have our main characters. We have the one who is actually HIV positive, that's Salaton. We have Nyukafi, who is Salaton's girlfriend and is this, pretty CU kind of girl. We have the brash kind of personality with the rugby team led by Wilson Mushemi, who puts in a fantastic performance, man. Shout out to Wilson Mushemi. I was watching it with a friend and, feeling 50-50 about content creators coming into the film industry. And I think it's a good move because now everyone's complaining, maybe we're seeing the same faces, but it's a good move. And Wilson Mushemi, Ali take one for the team, and he's showing content creators actually can hold their own. So we have this lineup of characters that can show us what it's like, the dangers involved with having a frivolous sex life. And these are the people that can actually sensitize us, right? But it gets to a point where they forget that's what it's supposed to be, right? And it's about telling us the drama between the characters. And in between some of the episodes, they remember, oh my God, this is a HIV sensitization campaign. And so they throw in these random scenes where someone walks into a hospital and is like, oh, I'm here to get condoms. Naweza pata? Yeah. And then pia kuna hii option ingine ya contraceptive. Unaweza dungo tu hapa. Like, okay. Like, I understand this was a HIV sensitization campaign, and they also try to tie in a lot of themes. But the strength of Sugar, from how we know it, is making these themes seem so relatable. Like you're not in a class. Like these are people's lives. These are actual people who are living these stories. It's not a classroom where one time it's not an ad where you have to sit down, tembelea kituo cha VCT. It's like these are people who are actually living these lives out here, and the aim of Sugar is to tell us stories that are relatable. So I feel they had a lot of themes to put in there, also trying to cram in online safety, and they forgot about these themes and try to throw them in there, and so it in between kind of feels a bit pretentious, right? But all in all, the drama was unfolding nicely until the last two episodes. I feel they were trying to get into like a few of the stories and forgetting about how they want this to end, because the last episode was so rushed. We didn't even get a sense of the timeline, like, oh, washafika kwa end of semester, washafika kwa rugby final. Oh, now this guy is the serial killer. They really rushed these things in on the last episode, and I believe there's even a place where the audio just cuts out, right? So those are my reservations about MTV Sugar. And what I'm hearing guys also say is they didn't like the fact that it sounded so Americanized, and it really didn't feel like a Kenyan story, same to how Nick Denda's Sugar and Lupita's Sugar felt, even in the language used, even in the way they dress. It's so flashy and so celebrity like. But what I feel people fail to recognize is we are living in a highly Western influenced kind of world right now. So it's kind of in line with how the Gen Z are right now, because the Gen Z are very outgoing, even in their dress code. Some mtu anaweza kuwa anaenda tu kwa shop but amepiga look mbaya sana, So I think that was in line with what people are seeing right now. And I think that's a bit of a harsh judgment, because it actually speaks to things that are happening right now. But in terms of telling us stories and portraying the characters in ways that this feels like these are actual people's lives, they are telling people's stories, that's where they missed the mark. It was so heavy on making sure the drama, giving us the tea instead of ingraining these themes into the characters' lives. And it tries to pack in so many types of relationships, so many themes that you even forget some characters are there. Like there was Miriam Bashir's character and her boyfriend, like walikuwa wanadu like maybe there's a story to be told in season 2, but I felt they were so underutilized. I feel like they tried to make them the healthy couple, but they sort of faded in the background until the last kind of episode, and that's why that last episode was so messy in my opinion. And I believe they could have benefited from longer episodes if they would have just taken some time, have like a 30-minute, 40-minute episode, because it seems they have a lot to tell, but they were rushing to tell all those stories in 20 minutes and in 8 episodes. And so that's why there was some things felt so pretentious, they felt so forgotten and rushed back in. Some edits felt like so rushed. So I really hope for MTV Sugar Mashariki season 2 we get longer episodes, so that the storytellers could have more time. We could have more time to unpack and actually feel the stories of these characters, right? But despite all the controversy, one thing is undeniable, that MTV Sugar Mashariki, MTV Sugar in general, is a cultural cinematic piece in Kenya. If you are a Kenyan youth, you would definitely know about MTV Sugar. And so shout out to MTV for coming up with this campaign. We just want season 2 to be more cohesive, right? Like, we love the drama, but can it make sense? Can it feel more natural? That's all I'm asking. I don't know what you guys felt about MTV Sugar Mashariki, but one thing is It's part of your life. It's something that represents the youth, and so every generation has to step up and wants to say we had the best MTV Sugar. And because we know that, it means you guys are aware that HIV is out there. You guys know that you should be keeping safe, and you want to know more about how you could be doing that. So shout out to you for being aware, and shout out to you for tuning into MTV Sugar Mashariki. Shout out to you for logging into Certified Cinema, and those were our reviews of the day. So make sure you go to the cinemas, watch F1 and Jurassic World Rebirth if you're still into that. MTV Sugar Mashariki is still showing on YouTube. If you missed out on the stories and you still want to learn more, go check out the 8 episodes on YouTube. And that's all we have for today, folks, on our reviews for the day. So I'm going to take a short break, nikunywe maji, as they say. Kiswahili day ilipita, wacha nimeze mate kidogo. Okay, done. Yeah. And so we're gonna take a short music break. Coming to you next is Feel It by David from the Invincible series. For all those who watch Invincible, this one is for you. Feel It by David.
What do you have in store? One life away, we can't explore. But I don't wanna get in the way no more, cause it's the type of feeling you can't ignore. I'm ready to break down the door, settle the score, I can't let you go. I'm a smile on your face, you know that I love the chase. You told me once that I was crazy, I said, baby girl, I know, but I can't let you go. So don't you get me started now. I want a yes, I don't want maybes, cause they leave me where you found me. So don't leave. I just love the way you got me feeling. Love the feeling. It's like take away the pain. Baby, I'm healing. Baby, I'm healing. I don't need anything more. Be the wave, I'll be the shore. Crashing all over me. I want you. What do you have in store? Type of girl that made me drop dead on the floor. This the only girl that I love and adore. This the type of love that you can't ignore. Say hey, she coming my way. She went around saying whatever she wanna say. I told her I don't wanna have to do this every day. Told her that I love her, but she thinking it's a game. Oh no, now she uncomfortable. Never wanna make it feel one dimensional. Oh yeah, oh nah. Don't know how we got here. Don't you get me started now. You told me once that I was crazy. I said, baby girl, I know, but I can't let you go. So don't you get me started now. I want a yes, I don't want maybes, cause they leave me where you found me. So don't leave. I just love the way you got me feeling. Love the feeling. It's like take away the pain. Baby, I'm healing. Baby, I'm healing. I don't need anything more. Be the wave, I'll be the shore. Crashing all
明かりの灯ったみんな英語と横と未練劇かを雨にぼやけた視界ネオンがなぜる濡れた輪郭何時もにまだ覚めないで時が引き裂くいやいやいやいや呆れた顔ってくんない追いつけたと思えばミラージュあの日のままって触れたい特に脱ぎ捨ててた品格あっという間に起こる間違いへ夜は短くガス切れのライターが照らす行きさつちょっと待ってや俺に家庭があって生活があってやなほっとかんてや俺が嘘つく前にとっにまたがったらラテダリダダ今日も花歌街で開いた鍵やなほんと勝手やな確か20年前もこんな始まり方選べなきゃしないひねとかひな暗闇がどっちかもっと書いてもっと立って欲張って笑うお前の計画通り溶けていく明日をどうでもいいやこの通りもう止まんねや呆れた顔ってくんない追いつけたと思えばミラージュあの日のままって触れたい特に脱ぎ捨ててた品格あっという間に起こる間違いへ夜は短くガス切れのライターが照らす血が昇ったら始まっちゃう玉食いしてるチパカブラブラブラ日が昇ったら灰になっちゃう棺桶に達してるドキュラララ血が昇ったら始まっちゃう玉食いしてるチパカブラブラブラ日が昇ったら灰になっちゃう棺桶に達してたとえお前がまだ途中でもその手を振りほどいて待たないやもう会わないさよなら最後にこいつをかき上げたらそしてまたお前の中ペンポ突き立てるやわはら戻るただ平凡なパパ隠す首筋の歯型元気呆れた顔ってくんない追いつけたと思えばミラージュあの日のままって触れたい特に脱ぎ捨ててた品格あっという間に起こる間違いへ夜は短くガス切れのライターが照らすいきさつ
Ladies and gentlemen, that was a fantastic music break, fueled by, powered by the nerd culture. Shout out to all the nerds. Shout out to all the music artists doing wonderful things for the culture. So we just had Feel It by David, and then followed up by Drive by Ed Sheeran from the F1 the movie album, and then lastly we had Mirage by Creepy Nuts. Now this one is an absolute banger. I absolutely love this. I don't know what you call this genre where they use Afrobeats, but the lyrics are in Japanese. I don't know what to call it. Is it Afrobeats Japanese? Is it Afro Jap? Is it Jap Afrobeats? I don't know. I'll let you decide. But all I know is Mirage by Creepy Nuts is a banger, and this is the opening theme for Call of the Night Season 2. Now, I don't watch Call of the Night Season 2, but I will definitely be watching it because of this banger. You know, I'll be watching Call of the Night Season 2 for the plot, and the plot is this banger, Mirage by Creepy Nuts. Creepy Nuts have always been dropping bangers ever since I knew them. We had Otonoke from Dan 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 Season 1. That was the opening for that, and they absolutely killed it with that one. And talking of Dan 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 Season 2 is out now, waiting for episode 2. So Dan Wednesdays are back, ladies and gentlemen. And so I hope you guys are ready to see that. And so let's get into the topic of the day today. Now, wacha nikae vizuri, wacha nikuwe serious, man. I want to get into my Zoom. Now, today's topic is a bit weird, but it's relevant, right? Why do I say it's relevant? Because of what's happening in the world right now. But it's coming from an oddly, this topic is coming from an oddly placed TV show. One that you wouldn't think is the one that would make us raise these questions, but it is the absolute perfect one that raises these questions that I'm about to ask. And the question is, would you kill for money? Think about it. would you kill for money? And I'm talking about Squid Game. Squid Game season 3 came out on the last week of June. That was June 27th, I believe. And yeah, it was fantastic. I'm yet to finish it. I'm one episode shy of finishing it, but so far I loved it. In terms of the season itself, I thought Squid Game was gonna end up being like Money Heist, where they have that one story and that one outcome that is gonna happen, but they keep on sacrificing that for the next plot twist. But and so they keep on doing that and doing that and doing that and dragging that out to have 4 seasons and then a spin-off like Money Heist Barcelona or something like that. Money Heist but Madrid. I struggle to remember. I thought Squid Game was gonna go that direction. I personally thought the story should have ended at Squid Game season 1. But I was wrong. They just keep upping up the ante, don't they? And I think having new challenges, and us being interested to see what is the next challenge they're gonna face also made it very interesting. So in terms of entertainment, I'm loving it so far. 1 episode left. Please don't spoil it for me. But what we're gonna talk about today is what we call the death games. Squid Game is what falls into the genre called the death game genres. And when thinking about death game genres, think about the aforementioned Squid Game, think about Hunger Games, think about The Running Man, think about The Running Man that had just been, the trailer just dropped last week starring Glenn Powell, which is a reboot of Arnold Schwarzenegger's Running Man in 1987. What else do we have? We have Death Race. We have so many forms of movies and TV shows that follow this plot where desperate people are forced to risk their lives in exchange for cash rewards, while we have rich people just watching and enjoying it for fun, and it's also televised for the public to see. And it's often they doing this for money, or to uplift their people back home, or even for freedom. And they often take place in such bizarre ways that force you to think like, damn, you mean someone sat down in their right mind and thought, I'm gonna write about someone dying this way? I mean, it's not Final Destination. Au nao kesi yao au hata tutaongelea tu kando siku ingine. Final Destination tunawakujia, but you think who comes up with this kind of thing, to sit down and think, why would you make me sit through 3 seasons of watching people being so inhumane to each other because they want $1 billion? And you sit and ask yourself, would I do the same thing? And you even joke about it, and you see memes about, if I give you $1 million, would you slap your girlfriend? Mi siwezi. Mimi siwezi. Tapigwa suplex ingine mbaya mbovu. I can't. Ule anajua jujitsu. Send help. But yes, and most people think, yeah, I would do it. And you are the kind of person that the authors were trying to think about. So I want to talk to you about why the death games is so popular and what's the point of these stories, right? And so we're going to do a deep dive into history, into literature history a bit. And so what introduced the death game genre into the pop culture space and into entertainment was a story written in 1924 called The Most Dangerous Game. Now, in The Most Dangerous Game, a man lands shipwrecks onto an island. He finds a mansion owned by a rich Russian general. And so the rich Russian general makes a bet with this guy. And he says, I'm going to hunt you down for sport. I have hunted all the wild game that there is on this island, but I need something that challenges me and makes me feel like I am the hunter of hunters. And that game that is intelligent and that I feel can give me a challenge is you, because you're intelligent. You would know the traps. You would hear me coming. So you are my next game. Let me hunt you for sport for 3 days. And if you survive the game for 3 days, I will let you survive and get away from this remote island. Because remember, he's shipwrecked in an island where he doesn't know how he's gonna get back home. But this rich Russian guy has a way, And so he tells him survive for 3 days, and then you will be free. And because the man is desperate, he needs to get home. He agrees. I mean, what are you gonna do? You have no other option. You've just found your savior, but these are the conditions. And so he agrees. And so over the course of 3 days, day 1 anapatikana. Day 2 he sets a trap, but the guy sees through the trap. Day 3 he finally manages to escape. There's a chase involved. He gets onto the beach. He sees the boat, and the guy knows, okay, my game has escaped, and this was worth it. I had my fun, and toodles. So he goes back to sleep, only to realize that this guy never escaped the island. He escaped, survived his 3 days, and came back into the rich Russian general's mansion to kill him. Does that sound familiar? Doesn't that sound like Squid Game Season 1 and Season 2? He was in a desperate situation. He was hanging off the thread. Someone offered him a lifeline in the form of money. He beats the game, and he decides, you know what? I'm coming back for your head. This is what set off the death games genre. It's called the most dangerous game. And so if you're into reading, feel free to read the book. Come back and tell me if I got the plot line correct. If not, let's talk about it. Books versus movies are movies. So that's why I'm here. Yeah. So that was the most dangerous man, right? And the author of this book was a World War I survivor, right? And remember, up to that time, people in the modern world had not seen a war that big. They even just called it the Great War because every country was fighting each other. And people would come back home surviving the war, and you'd be given medals. People would talk about, like he was from the war. It was a thing of national pride. But my friend, you just came back from killing God knows how many people, right? The war was such a bad thing. People came back with PTSD. And so the author asked himself, these people were put through the most grueling thing they've ever seen in their lives, and their survival was tested. And so the question is, do our ethics collapse when our survival is tested? That's the main question. Do our ethics collapse when our survival is tested? So if someone ever asked you, if I gave you 1 million to slap a close person, and you said yes, are your ethics collapsing? Because your survival has been tested, right? And the reason why I say survival has been tested when you're offered money straight to your face is because in our world today, poverty is the realest test of everyday survival. And we've seen people do what they can for money, right? We've seen goons who have infiltrated peaceful protests because of the promise of 2,000. And this is because poverty has tested them to the very ends, because these are people who are being pulled from slums, right? For the promise of 2,000. For everyone who is, if you're well off or just surviving, say just middle class, that 2,000 is, measly, kidogo money, especially in our economy. But that is all people can cling on to, and they are willing to go to the ends of the earth and do the most atrocious things for just 2,000, because their survival has been tested. And that is human nature. When your survival is tested, it's fight or flight mode. And when when your survival has been tested by poverty, and someone hands you a lifeline in the form of 1 billion or 17.6 billion won in the case of Squid Games, you're gonna take that, right? And that is what these stories try to bring up, put to question your ethics when your survival is tested. And that's why these stories are often featuring desperate people who are always poor. They are always on the end, on their last straw, right? And that's what the most dangerous game put the template. And then we had more stories from there, leading up to the Running Man. So from 1924, we go all the way up to the 90s, to the late 90s and the early 2000s, which brings us to phase 2, reality TV. Now, reality TV is hot right now. So tell me if this sounds familiar. How does it start? I'm trying to remember it. I'm trying to find it. I'm finding it. It's mtu anikumbushe hapo kwa comments jameni. Hii opening ya yes. Nothing beats a holiday to see Love Island, USA. Yeah, that sounds familiar. My reality TV people, you guys are in the thick of cementing and fueling the death games genre. You think watching Survivor, Love Island, Love is Blind, you think watching these things is just harmless and innocent, but you guys are chunkying to the creation and building up the death games genre. And here's why. Now, the reality TV features normal people being put in wild situations for money and for attention. Think about Survivor. People have been pulled from their homes, their luxurious jobs, into an island where they have nothing and they have to survive. Think about Big Brother. People being put, coming from their homes, being forced to socialize with strangers that they don't know. They form relationships and they probably have people at home, and we are all tuning into the drama. Think about the Jerry Springer show. People were throwing hands on stage and everyone was just like, this is it. We all tuned in, and all these shows have in common that people were really invested, putting themselves and signing up for these shows. Love Island, people are signing up for these shows because they know there's prize money at the end of it. I have to kiss him and kiss her and kiss him and kiss her. And, some people are not really in it for the connections they build with people. Some people are playing these connections because they love the attention. It boosts your social media presence. Your accounts blow up. Brand sponsorships, brand deals are coming your way. And yeah, they're doing this for the money and the attention. And what's fueling that is because we are all tuning in to watch reality TV, right? Yeah, reality TV really added that, brought it to life, and that's why creators started thinking about how people are tuned in to see people in wild situations like our protagonists in these death games. People really like this. People really like televised suffering in the name of reality TV. And that's why when you watch these death games, it's never just a group of people in a remote place doing the death games and that's it. There's always an audience. There's people, desperate people in the death games, and then there's people watching from afar, always enjoying the shows. In Squid Games, you have the VIPs in masquerades and sipping champagne and placing bets on who's gonna live, who's gonna die, because for the characters who are watching our players in the death games, it's like reality TV for them. And so those who are watching, the audience, are a mirror of us, people who tune in to reality TV to see people in bizarre situations for the sake of money, for the sake of attention. We gave the authors and gave the creators the idea of people tuning in for televised suffering and it becoming so normal. It's not normal to see a a fellow, to see one man hurting a fellow man because they have the promise of X amount of shillings, right? But that's what the characters in these movies do. It seems so normal to them. And this was added on by the era of reality TV. So I hope you're following, right? So 1924, The Most Dangerous Game came out, offered the template for the death games. And then now came the era of reality TV, and now it became the death games, but with televised suffering, it being broadcast to people, right? And now comes in element number 3, the type of audience. We have people who are watching, but who are these people? Now in the death games, you will often notice that the people who are watching the players in the death games are always people of power and privilege, right? It's often VIPs, like in Squid Games. It's often the government, like in Hunger Games. It's often a private benefactor, right, who is funding the games and making sure they're watching and having fun in their VIP boxes. So this came about from a Japanese movie in the 2000 called Battle Royale. And so Battle Royale was written in 1996 and first published. 1996 was also in the thick of the reality TV era, published in 1999 and adapted into a film in 2000. It's a Japanese movie. Always watch it in subtitles. I'm a sub guy, sub versus dub. Shout out all my niggas who are sub. But yeah, if you prefer to watch it dubbed, with English language, go ahead, spoil yourself. So it follows a group of high schoolers in their final year, kidnapped and put onto a remote island by the government. Get that? Nyi mmeingia kwa basi, mnajua tunaenda Mias Sugar kuona vile vitu zina operate, tunaenda funky kidogo kidogo hivi, mmelala nyi wote, and then that one weird guy who's socially awkward, kumbe anesthesia ijamchapa vizuri. He wakes up, he sees the driver is in a gas mask, the teacher is in a gas mask, anapigwa yake moja, analala, only to realize we're being taken onto a remote island. This is school funded, this is government funded, our parents at home know this is what's happening, the nation is tuning in to see this. It's a government sanctioned death game. They are forced to fight each other to the death in the island. Everyone has to pick a weapon of their choice, and they have to survive. Otherwise, if you choose not to participate, or by the time was it going on for like a week, you have explosives over your neck, Suicide Squad style, and you get blown to bits unless there's only one person. And this is not like the Hunger Games where they want to stick it to the system and they just want one winner. For them, the government wants the youth to go, because this was a bid by the government to control violence within the youth, right? And so the author of this also came up in a World War II era, seeing how death had been normalized. People coming back from wars like, I survived and I killed this many people and survived the war. And also coming at a time where the youth were also very violent, and the government was, in question to try and control people, right? And so the point of Battle Royale was, yes, there's the death games. Our ethics collapse when our survival is tested? But also, how does the government use media and violence to desensitize and control people? And this is relevant because we're seeing it right now, and it started as a peaceful protest, but now we're having goons, right? And now it seems like it's violent, and because the media has to do their job and show people what's happening, we want to become so desensitized to all of it, and it seems like it's a means of control, so that you see there's violence, it's nothing to you, and by the time it's nothing to you, the protests are the nature of the day, people being shot, rubber bullets and tear gas in your neighborhood is the point of the day. You'll just eventually choke and be like, no, right? So Violence is being used as a means to desensitize and control a nation, and it's being done and also funded by people in places of power. So the theme here is privilege without empathy, right? What happens when the people in power, these are the government officials sanctioning these death games, and the VIPs funding these death games, right? What happens when they're in a place of privilege? Instead of using their influence to make things better, they want to enjoy the games and are actually funding it. They're not thinking about the people on the ground, right? They're not thinking this is someone's mother. This is someone who's come to, in the case of Squid Game Season 3, this is someone who's come to the game pregnant. There's a baby in this, right? Do we need to put the baby's life in danger? Their answer was yes, right? Because they have no empathy. For them, it's you just enjoying what's been what's it's just you enjoying your soft life, right? It doesn't matter what happens to the other person. It doesn't matter what their situation is like. You just want what you want, right? And it's relevant now because you see our politicians are funding goons, right? And it's a sad thing. They're in a place of privilege, but without empathy, right? So, like I said, it's fiction, but it's not far off. There's protests right now. There's economic recession, right? Our survival is being tested. Poverty is testing our survival. There's clout culture, in the form of reality TV, right? We've all been desensitized to all of this. Things are crazy. People are cheating on live TV, but it's reality TV. We're used to it. We've become desensitized to forming relationships, and everyone is also always out there chasing clout, right? And so maybe we are the ones in the death games. Maybe the world we live in right now is a death game, right? Where our survival is tested. We've been desensitized desensitized to each other's situations, because maybe we are privileged, right? For you, you don't understand what it's like for this person to accept that 2,000 to go disrupt a peaceful protest, because you could be the one in the privileged position, right? You see 2,000 as something to shrug off, but this is someone's lifeline, right? So the essence of the death games is not just to entertain, it's to make you aware of what's happening in the world. It's a call to humanity, right? Be humane. Lend a shoulder, lend an ear to your neighbor, your brother, your sister, your classmate, people you're close to, people that you're not close to, a stranger on the street, right? So that you wouldn't be offered 1 million to slap someone and you'll be like, hell yeah. Yeah, but kama mko na deal, niambie hapo kwa comments. But yes, it is a call to humanity. It is a call to empathy. It is a call to assess our privilege. Let us not be quick to judge. Let us see how we are privileged and how we could be projecting that to other people. That is for us a call to assess our privilege as people of power. This goes out to our leaders. Assess your privilege, right? Let us not sanction the police. Let us not empower police brutality, right? Even for the police, assess your privilege. Do not just crack a whip on someone's son or daughter because you have the power to do that. Put some humanity into it. And it's also a call to recall our dignity, right? To not just do things because you have to do them, right? You also have to maintain your dignity and your humanity. Don't slap someone for 1 million. Jiheshimu brother. Yeah. So the question is, would you play, or are you already playing? And if you find yourself playing, jite mkutano, assess your humanity, your empathy, your privilege, and recall your dignity. Ladies and gentlemen, that was it for today's topic. Squid Games and the Death Games genre. So if you haven't watched the Squid Games, well, make sure you watch it. It's the season finale and the story is over right now. And if you're into that kind of thing, there are a few suggestions. You can watch Hunger Games 1, 2, 3. You can watch Death Game. You can watch Death Race. You can watch The Hunt. The Running Man has just been announced. It's coming out next year, starring Glenn Powell. It will be in cinemas, and we will talk about it next year, hopefully with a professional here to tell us what it's like to be, how is it that you can know that you are being controlled by the media and by the system in general. So we'll get to that when we get there. But ladies and gentlemen, recall your dignity, recall your humanity, and to put a cap on that, we're gonna go into a music break. Tujiangalie by Sauti Sol. So look inwards, ladies and gentlemen. Jiangalie, jisikize, na ukue humane. Thank you.
Radio.
Barua toka Jaramogi na Kenyatta, wanauliza kama Kenya kuko sawa. Nikawajibu Kenya tuko na disaster, watoto wetu wanazidi kuzikana. Na Tomboya ameshika tama, alituacha kama angali kijana. Je, angekuwa mambo yangekuwa sawa? Ndivyo walivyopanga Maulana. Deni mulizoacha bado tunalipa, na tumekopa zingine China. Tukajenga reli pia barabara, zilizobaki watu wakasanya. So tujiangalie, tuko pabaya leo kuliko jana. Sikio la kufa halisikii dawa. Tuko kwa Twitter tunajibizana. Tujiangalie bane, tuko pabaya leo kuliko jana. Tusipoziba ufa tutajenga kuta. Tusake zetu tungali vijana. Waumini kwa matrina, pasi kwa bima, kushoto fungu la 10 sadaka kulia. Ndio maana mbele ya kanisa mheshimiwa anakula sakramenti kabla ya raia. Siku za mwisho zimeshawadia, na revelation inatuambia hii generation inachoma picha. Ni generation yetu, so tujiangalie. Tuko pabaya leo kuliko jana. Sikio la kufa halisikii dawa. Tuko kwa Twitter tunajibizana. Tujiangalie. Tuko pabaya leo kuliko jana. Tusipoziba ufa tutajenga kuta. Tusake zetu tungali vijana. Mishuki alisema tufungeni mikanda. Ona leo twavuna tulichopanda. Kura zetu zilitugawanya, makabila na pesa pia tulimanga. So when you make your bed, usingizi gani tumelala? Tutajua tujui, Vision 2030 tabaki ni story. Tujiangalie, tuko pabaya leo kuliko jana. Sikio la kufa halisikii dawa. Tuko kwa Twitter tunajibizana. Tujiangalie, tuko pabaya leo kuliko jana. Tusipoziba ufa tutajenga kuta. Tusake zetu tungali vijana. Dosi aliniambianga freedom never comes for free. We vote tribe ama real cash, ask Boni. Tuna Roma lia mwezi tajesu plus dogi. Wal mzima Twitter keotindo fast body. Ban pictures in Africa, black coffee and none. I'm richer than my neighbor but we're both in a slum. If the rich always win, why should the popular run? Unless democracy ni what you say my only for fun. Na hii weekend tuko church, tunauza sura kabisa. Post ya haga wenda poa sana na caption ya scripture. Kayo ndo gospel pitisha bagi ya sadaka kwa club, yeah. Traffic madrag ubaindai, traffic mandai zina drag. Kwa maya mwizi amemake stories za shamba amegrab. Kono inahonga imevaa bracelet ya colors za flag, yeah.
that you feel like the world is on fire. Some days you feel like you're swimming and flying. Some days you wake up and you don't feel like you wanna chase what you don't see. But some days you feel like you're floating up high. So how about you try this time? Lifting up your head and sing out. What more than I see, there's more inside of me. Just lift up your voice and say, nitajaribu tena kesho, nitaamka upya na nisonge. Hata wakipenda kunivunja, mambo yakizidi unga, sitashindwa kujivuta. Kesho naamka upya, kesho naamka upya. Some days I know that you think of surviving, but you sleep and wake up and don't feel like fighting. But there's space in your soul to keep wanting more, to desire to soar. But some days you know that their words, they mean nothing. So how about you try this time? Lifting up your head and say, what more than I see, there's more inside of me. Just lift up your voice and say, nitajaribu tena kesho, nitaamka upya na nisonge. Hata wakipenda kunivunja, mambo yakizidi unga, sitashindwa kujivuta. Kesho naamka upya.
Alo, alo, kama we ni mwenyeji, we ni mwenyeji. Alo, kama we si mwenyeji, mind your business. Kama unataka ule anaichapa mpaka ilale, basi harakisha njona. Bima inanukia shasha mane, usitupeni ni kwa flona. Super komudia ladha gane, gnezenda fast au slow, baby. Naiva nikisikia mabob malen, kitafta plan ya do, yeah. Tuanzishi vita, tunamaliza. Nani ukinita, tuma mamita au malipsinka, wanawaingiza. Napanda stage, na unamiujiza. Originator, baba wakeja, wananiti, wananiiga. Likuwa nachoma mpaka kwa filter, kabadoko ushago. Life iko order, bako kweli na sound unachocha.
Vile naifanya sio hoja,
yeah.
Huku isi ni si tunazoza, tunaifanyaga proper,
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 properly, tunaifanyaga proper,
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 properly, tunaifanyaga. Sikudai namba 2 wakanichuja daro, songa jenga shule wajua lipe karo. Saimi ndio speaker Frankole Kaparo, matutas napiga ki Usman Kamaru. Kwa fam ya kipang sikutoka, so fam ya kipang kitatoka kwa mimi. Amini ni jasho na damu zinatoka nkiroga, hinjili na treat kama dini. Saima device inakuja na mzinga, wananidai na nijuzi waliringa. Mungu akisense unajua uwezi pinga, odds iko right mi sichezi na tinga. Okay, kifemi kijembe kikali, bila budi na bidwa kubali. Pata jali ujwe nani ya kujali, hii maisha ni tamu na jes na makali.
Life iko order, bako kweli na sound unachocha.
Vile naifanya sio hoja,
yeah.
Huku isi ni si tunazoza, tunaifanyaga proper,
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 properly, tunaifanyaga proper,
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 properly, tunaifanyaga
Ask nani yako in the zone aje na ana feel right at home aje utajua nilikuwa kwa chuom aje na harufu ya cologne sare na sijaiko saga form sare last year niliuza my phone sare jana niliota na perform sare na kabla kuota niliperform short now you know kwa cliff kabla ujue mambo ya drone granda imejaa na kif na grind nikana clone kiulizana nani gwiji hapa mimi nasikianga kama nakosa heshima mwezi ni pima mwezi ni zima na nimeingia nasikia wananiambia life iko order mpaka ukweli na sound unachocha
vile naifanya sio hoja huku hizi ni si tunazoza tunaifanyaga proper tunaifanyaga proper tunaifanyaga
life iko order mpaka ukweli na sound unachocha
vile naifanya sio hoja huku hizi ni si tunazoza tunaifanyaga proper tunaifanyaga proper tunaifanyaga.
This is Icon Radio.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. That was a fantastic music break. Segueing off the topic of the day, we had Tujiangalie by Sauti Sol, and then we closed it off with Properly, and that's why we're coming back properly into our feedback session, ladies and gentlemen. I've had a few of you who've been coming directly to my inbox. Hao ni mafans personal wanakuja kwa VIP. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for supporting the show. Once again, this is Certified Cinema, and I am your ever dependable host, resident movie nerd and nerd culture evangelist, CAMPEZ. Now we do all things movies, all things TV shows, all things thematic breakdowns and nerd culture. Welcome once again. And so I have a few comments here in my inbox that I'm going to read out to you. And this is in line with what we've just talked about, which is Squid Games and the death game genre, right? And so I'm just going to highlight a few questions here. And the first one we have is, bro, kama ni wewe ungekuwa kwa Squid Games, what would break you first? The physical challenges or the mind games? Si ilikuwa comments, sasa mnakuja personal bana. But anyway, kama uko kwa inbox yangu hiyo ni personal. So I think for me, what would break me would definitely be the mind games, because I think physically, I would make the physical challenges, right? Kwanza ile ya kuruka kamba ile ya mwisho, hiyo ninge survive 100%. Hiyo that one for lambaying those two biscuits and making sure you have the shapes, that one ninge survive, because I love to eat anything food. Count me in. What other game would I survive? Red light, green light, I would have survived. Anything physical, I think I would survive. That one wouldn't break me. But the mind games in there, I think those are the most scary ones. And the mind games also involve some physical aspects to it, like in season 3, where they give you keys and knives. Some of you have to hide, and some of you have to kill someone to survive, or else you're the one whose life is gonna be ended, right? And I think that one was more of a mind game than a physical challenge, because you have to be brave enough to unalive someone just for your own sake, right? What if you run into someone you've bonded with during the games, right? So I think those would be the ones that would actually break me, and I think Izo Singer survived. So let me know what you guys would survive. What would break you first? The physical challenges or the mind games? Secondly, what's more evil? The game itself or the audience cheering on? Yeah, that's an interesting question. Uko na brains, bro? Huh? Oh, girl, uko sharp. Yeah, I think both are equally horrendous, right? The nature of the games, taking part in the game and participating in the game. But I think it really takes a special type of evil to sit back and enjoy people suffering. I think that takes the cake for me. The game could be people are desperate. I'll give them that. People take part in the game because they're desperate, they're looking for a lifeline, and they've been promised huge sums of money. But I think it takes a special type of evil to just sit back and watch and enjoy and savor in other people's suffering. So I think the VIPs and the audience in this are the wrong ones. And so if you're talking about the audience, the thing that curated the audience and the televised suffering experience, which is the birth of the reality TV, wase wa Love Island, muko sawa, muna watch tu watu wakikosana na muna enjoy. Wengine ni fans wa Big Brother. Are you guys okay? But anyway, the siku yenyu itafika and we'll talk about it. Yeah, but for me, what's more evil, the game itself or the audience cheering it on? I think the cheering is way more evil. And so I'm interested to see how the Running Man will, how the audience looks. It looks like there's a problem with society in general. If people love to watch these shows, even in Hunger Games, but Hunger Games is possible because, you're representing your community. You want your village to win because it's in for your village. But in movies like The Running Man or Squid Games, special type of evil to enjoy people suffering. Last one I'm gonna read here. It's more of a comment. It says the death games aren't so far-fetched. People risk their lives every day for money, survival, or fame. Yeah, and we've had stories of this happening. We've even joked about it, in the form of the memes. Would you slap someone? People, even famous people, faking breakups and coming up with leaking tapes of them getting it in, only to find out they're promoting an album, a merchandise, a TV show, something. People are just doing the most outrageous things for fame right now, right? And so yeah, I agree with this comment that the death game stories aren't so far-fetched. People are risking their lives every day for money, survival, or fame. And if you're looking for something else that plays that line, it's the first episode of Black Mirror season 6, where we have this guy who goes on stream because he needs money to pay for his wife's remote healthcare subscription, or else she's gonna keep getting ads in her mind. She's gonna keep getting her health, she's not gonna be okay generally. He has to subscribe to like healthcare premium or something. The guy goes on stream, has to pull out his teeth, has to harm himself. It's and the streaming culture happens right now, right? And we've seen people do crazy things, people even wanting to get it on camera, with the OnlyFans culture right now. So yes, people are doing crazy things right now for money. And so sit back, jiangalie, recall your dignity and your humanity, right? So ladies, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your comments and your questions so far. Remember to comment on our Instagram right now. That's at Icon Radio and at Certified Cinema KE. You can also drop a comment on my Instagram profile. That's at CAMPEZ X. We are live on YouTube right now. Feel free to tune in and drop a comment right there. Feel free to also utilize our WhatsApp numbers right down on the screen right now and talk to us right now, tomorrow, each and every day. We are live every Thursday for Certified Cinema, and I'd really like to hear what's happening, your thought process right now, your comments, your questions. So find us on all those platforms, ladies and gentlemen. And for now, we take another music break. I'll be playing you something that's been trending on TikTok. If you've been on your phone, which everyone is right now, you've been seeing this on your FYP, you've been seeing it on your Explore page, you've been seeing it on your feed. And this lady is starting to grow on me. She has this very cute, innocent, girly, innocent soft girl thing going on, and I think it's a vibe, and her music is pop like, and it's getting to me. I'm predominantly hip hop, but she's doing something to me, and I came to realize that she is actually half Kenyan. She is a Kikuyu, she's half USA, half Kenyan, right? I'm talking about none other than Pink Panthers, and this is Illegal by Pink Panthers, coming up to you right now.
My name is Pink and I'm really glad to meet you. You're recommended to me by some people. Hey, ooh, is this illegal? Hey, ooh, it feels illegal. I've saw the quite a few times with paranoia. Oh, I should name it, don't know what I should call you. Hey, ooh, here's 20 for you. Hey, we're getting high up on the corner. One after one, now you're sitting on my bed. Then later on, we can talk on it instead.
This is Icon.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Certified Cinema. And leading us into that break was Illegal by Pink Panthers, the TikTok sensation, the song that's taking over TikTok right now, Illegal by Pink Panthers. And then I took you back to a very, very, very special song that we all grew up watching. This TV show, a theme song of a TV show we grew up watching. It's a theme song that calls back to one of the world's most famous superheroes, and this was a very special story. This was the Smallville theme song. Do you all remember Smallville? Back in the 2000s, 2004, 2005, 2006, it was the go-to superhero movie. Superhero TV show, telling us a story about a young Clark Kent in his formative years leading up to him becoming Superman. That was the Smallville theme song. It's called, what's it called? It's called Save Me by Remy Zero. Somebody say. Ukisikia hiyo una rush, unajua tu it's about to be bangers on bangers, right? And so I'm about to tell you why I played that song. It's because we are coming into our next and final segment called Read the Room. Now, what is Read the Room? Read the Room is a segment in Certified Cinema where we will be highlighting movies and TV shows to watch this week based on what's happening globally in entertainment and also in current affairs, right? So what's hot in the entertainment space right now? What's going on in world, in politics, in sports, right? And there are movies that link into that, right? Here at Certified Cinema, we want you to feel that art is relevant. These are things, the movies and TV shows that we watch for entertainment are also important and touch on themes that are important to our lives. And so you find that there are movies and TV shows that touch onto what's currently happening in the world right now, and you can be entertained and learn a few things or two when you watch these movies, and it will also spark your curiosity to know what happens. Like remember when COVID came out and everyone was like, oh yeah, we should have watched Contagion, because that's what happens. People run to the tissue paper section and take everything from the supermarkets, and we start fighting each other, and people start dying left, right, and center if we don't take the right precautions, right? And that's what's the inspiration for Read the Room, right? So read the room, like what's happening in the world, right? So these are the movies that will put you onto what's happening globally. We have Superman coming up. This is what's hot in the movie space right now. We have Superman. This is the new movie for the new DC universe led by James Gunn. Superman 2025, directed by James Gunn. It follows Clark Kent into his new and first year as Superman. That's why I played Smallville. You get it now? I got you guys, man. Nakwanga nimewalobotov, nakwanga nimewafikiria, huh? Nakwanga nawapea nostalgia ingine fresh. But you see, Superman is a new story and a new direction. We're coming and changing over from the dark and gritty Zack Snyder DC EU, and now into a more brighter Superman directed by James Gunn. And so this looks like it's gonna be a fantastic story. The official release date is tomorrow, July 11th, but for the lucky few, there are going to be some early screenings today at a cinema near you. So make sure to get onto, just search on Google, get to your favorite cinemas Instagram pages and check for the timings, because we are having early screenings for Superman today. But if you'd rather wait to tomorrow after work, the official release date is tomorrow. So Superman, ladies and gentlemen, I'm on my DC. Unaona merchandise coming soon, tunawaletea. Now, second thing to watch this week is Squid Game Season 3. Now, this is just off of the conversation we've just had about the death games genre. We are living in a time where our survival is being tested, and we need to call ourselves to recall our dignity, recall our empathy, recall our humanity, and the perfect mirror that is very entertaining and something that is relevant to what's happening in the world right now is Squid Game Season 3. If you want to hold a mirror to society right now, with what's happening in terms of privilege without empathy, in terms of playing the system, in terms of how we are losing our humanity and being desensitized in exchange for fame and money. Squid Game Season 3 is the perfect segue into that. Then we have Dan Da Dan. Season 2 just came out last week. Season 2 just started, ladies and gentlemen. So this month, we're going to be eating good. The anime playlist, the anime watch list is also piling up, but we'll get to that into next week's Read the Room. So if you're into anime, feel free and make sure you tune into episode 2 that's dropping. I think it should have dropped yesterday. Dan Da Dan Wednesdays are back, ladies and gentlemen. So Dan Da Dan Season 2, Episode 2, make sure you tune into that this week. That's showing on, it will be on Netflix. If you subscribe to Crunchyroll, you'll also find it there. Finally, we should watch Sarafina. In the spirit of revolution, in the spirit of standing up for what we want for a better nation, Sarafina hits home and hits hard, and it's so relatable because it happens in South Africa. It's close to home. The culture is kind of similar to what we have right now in terms of the leadership, in terms of the young people leading the revolution. Sarafina, I think, was a movie that was way beyond its time in terms of the African film space, in terms of production, in terms of storytelling. Sarafina was way ahead of its time, and so we're going to throw it back a bit to Sarafina and fuel our revolutionary spirit, ladies and gentlemen. So again, for Read the Room, we're highlighting movies and TV shows to watch this week based on what's happening globally in the world of entertainment and current affairs. And so we have Superman 2025, the new James Gunn movie, Squid Game Season 3, talking about the death game genre and how that holds up a mirror to society right now. We have Dan Da Dan Season 2 coming out, Episode 2 dropping for all my anime fans. Oh, and that's a callback to also Creepy Nuts, who did a wonderful job on their OP last year. And now Sarafina to fuel our revolutionary spirit, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to take a break as I sip my water. Yeah, I'm done. I'm back from my Shazam bottle, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, that was it for today, for Read the Room and for Certified Cinema. Remember, Certified Cinema happens every Thursday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. only here on Icon Radio, your #1 entertainment plug. And Certified Cinema is your #1 movies and TV show plug, letting you know what's hot, what's relevant, what it means, why you should watch it, if you should pay for a ticket or not, why it was created, and what more to look forward to. And we're looking forward to spicing this up and make it more fun and more interesting for you. We're going to get so many guests. We're going to get partners who are going to bring some fantastic merchandise like my Shazam bottle over here. Maybe if you tune in next week, you might get some Superman merchandise. You might get some Fantastic Four merchandise. Because remember, we are coming into the super fantastic summer. After Superman, we have Fantastic Four. And so, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We have lots and lots of fun, trivias, merchandise giveaways coming up, special guests, all in service of the nerd culture, all in service of, even if you're not really into movies, tune in. You're going to learn something about what's relevant in the world of entertainment and how it touches onto your day-to-day life. And that was me, ladies and gentlemen, your ever so dependable nerd culture evangelist, resident movie and TV shows reviewer and recommender. I have been yours, CAMPEZ Nawiri. Until next Thursday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. See you, tune in, and geek out. Cheers. Signing off with TV Off by Kendrick Lamar. See ya.
Radio.
All I ever wanted was a black Grand National. Fuck being rational, give them what they asked for. It's not enough. Few solid niggas left, but it's not enough. Few bitches that are really stepped, but it's not enough. Say you bigger than myself, but it's not enough. I get on their ass. Yeah, somebody gotta do it. I make them niggas mad. Yeah, somebody gotta do it. I take the G-Pad. Yeah, watch a nigga do it. We survived outside, all from the music, nigga. What? They like, what he on? It's the Alpha and Omega, bitch. Welcome home. This is not a song. This is a revelation. How to get a nigga gone. Need you a man, baby. I don't understand, baby. Pay your bill and make you feel protected like I can, baby. Teach you something if you need correction. That's the plan, baby. Don't put your life in these weird niggas' hands, baby. It's not enough. Few solid niggas left, but it's not enough. Few bitches that are really stepped, but it's not enough. Say you bigger than myself, but it's not enough. I get on their ass. Yeah, somebody gotta do it. I made them niggas mad. Yeah, somebody gotta do it. I take the G-Pad. Yeah, watch a nigga do it. We survived outside, all from the music, nigga. What? Hey, turn this TV off. Ain't with my type activities, then don't you get involved. Hey, what? How many shit I seen? Send them all. Take a risk or take a trip. You know I'm tripping for my dog. Who you with? Couple sergeants and lieutenants for the get back. This revolution been televised. I fell through with the knickknacks. Hey, young nigga, get your chili up. Yeah, I meant that. Hey, black out if they act out. Yeah, I did that. Hey, what's up, though? I hate a bitch that's hating on a bitch, and they both hoes. I hate a nigga hating on them niggas, and they both broke. If you ain't coming for no chili, what you come for? Nigga feel like he entitled, cause he knew me since a kid. Bitch, I cut my granny off and she don't see it how I see it. Got a big mouth, but he lack big ideas. Send him to the moon, that's just how I feel, yelling. It's not enough. Few solid niggas left, but it's not enough. Few bitches that are really stepped, but it's not enough. Say you bigger than myself, but it's not enough. Hey, hey, my niggas second bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it. Turn this TV off, turn this TV off. 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 Ain't no other king in this rap thing, they siblings. Nothing but my children. One shot, they disappearing. I'm in a city with a flag be getting thrown like it was past interference. Padlock around the building. Crash pulling up an unmarked truck just to play freeze tag. With a boner pick like it was sea bass. So when I made it out, I made about 50K from a show. Trying to show niggas the ropes before they hung from a rope. I'm prophetic. They only talk about it, how I get it. Only good for saving face, seen the cosmetics. How many heads I gotta take to level my aesthetics? Hurry up and get your muscle up. We up the plyometric. Nigga ran up by the Lux, soon as I up the highest metric. The city just made it sweet, you could diabetic. They mouth get full of deceit, let these cowards tell it. Walk in New Orleans with the etiquette of LA yelling. Niggas acting bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it. Turn this TV off, turn this TV off. Turn this TV off, turn this TV off. Turn this TV off, turn this TV off. Turn this TV off, turn this TV off.
Shit get crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious. 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 Crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious.
You're tuned in to Icon Radio, your #1 entertainment plug.